So I used my sister's face today for this dramatic makeup beat. Let's get into this. Y'all know I like to start with my eyebrows first. So we're gonna just outline the shape of her eyebrows. I'm gonna really fill them in. I didn't do her eyebrows like super dark, but I do fill them in where they look like, you know, she got some hairs on there because she was missing some hairs in a couple places. So really filled them in, and I always like to really brush the front of the eyebrows to make it look natural towards the front because they like an ombre look in the front. And then we're gonna go in with a concealer about 2 to 3 shades lighter than her skin, and I'm just going to outline her eyebrows. So outlining eyebrows is pretty much easy, but you just have to know like how you have to be able to have an eye for a person's natural arch. I could see a natural arch kind of good. If I can't, no, I can see it pretty good. So I don't really know how to explain that. So you do want your brush that you take to outline the eyebrows to be kind of wet. The product should be on there pretty heavy. You don't want it to be like a little dry. You want it to be really heavy so you could be able to really smooth out the outline of the eyebrows. You want a really smooth look, and try your best to make sure the eyebrows are symmetrical. You want them to look the same as much as possible on each side. Both of the eyebrows on no one's face are perfectly symmetrical, but you want to do your best. So now I'm just priming the eyes with a really light concealer, and I'm going in with a background of pink shade. So when I do a dramatic eye out, I like to put like a base color in the background, and I kind of blend it in really well. I blend it in very well, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I put it in. I don't really pack it. I pack it like towards the crease. I pack the color in the crease, and then I blend it out. I do typically like to blend it out sometimes to like a lighter shade of whatever color that I use, just so it don't look too harsh and too dark in the background, because whatever you put in your cut crease, if you got a dramatic cut crease, it's gonna blend regardless. And make sure you moisturize your client's lips, because especially if you want to do a matte lip, don't just let their lips be crusty. I used to let their lips be crusty. Then when I finally get ready to dress the lips up, I be looking like, oh my God, like I should have been did this. But anyway, I'm going in with a white pigment to outline this cut crease. So I had a little bit of, I used this for the concealer to outline the eyebrows. So of course it was still some of the brown concealer on the brush, so it's not completely white, but it still works. So I do like to go in sometimes with white concealer on the eyelid when I do colorful cut creases, just because sometimes brown concealers, they don't really make the colors pop as much all the time. But priming is priming. It helps, but depending on what color you want to use, I think it's best to use either the lightest shade concealer possible or white concealer. White concealer is really like what makes it pop though. Like white is like it's in for the concealer part. So that's what I'm doing. And sometimes I do, to make doing a crease easier, I do like to let people open their eyes so I could see just exactly where their crease is. I don't really think I had let her do this, but that's what I typically like to do. And I'm going in with these really pigmented shades. They're loose pigments. I really love loose pigments. I think eventually I'm gonna begin to sell them or whatever, but the loose pigments, they make a very, very, very good eyeshadow. Yeah, like that's really it. Like loose pigments are bomb. Like you don't have to work too hard to make them look like something, versus using eyeshadow, you gotta really pack it on there. But the loose pigments, I hardly use these. I hardly use the product, so I had a lot of product left. And then I'm going in with a white eyeliner. I use my eyeliner brush to make this white eyeliner, and I also use a white pigment. I didn't have white eyeliner around this time. I used a white pigment. And now I'm going in to contour, to put on her foundation, to do the actual face, the best part, y'all. So sometimes clients, people, I know I told y'all this on my self tutorials, but faces get dry or faces are dry, and so you have to spray it. So I sprayed it. I put the foundation on over the entire face first, because I've noticed that for full coverage sometimes it's best to cover the whole face with foundation, then go back in with the concealer. It's for full coverage, and so you can make sure that it's blended out really well, because sometimes I don't blend it out that good, and yeah, it don't look right. But that's on myself, not for other people, y'all. So now I'm going in with a lighter shade for her contour. And y'all, I just learned a new trick for contouring. I'm so geeked to try it. And me watching myself do this, it's like, oh my God, I see where I need to like fix my mistakes. But anyway, I'm going back in with the same concealer that I used to outline her eyebrows with. And I'm just gonna go in with my Real Techniques contour brush. It's literally called a Real Techniques contour brush. And I'm blending this out really good. Again, I don't really drag it. I pack it mostly into the skin, and I went back in with my buffer brush. So here, when you are contouring and using bronzer for your lighter shades, ladies, you want to really use a darker shade. So I didn't go in with my what do I usually use? Oh my God, I can't think of it, but it's a black radiance. That's what I use. I usually use Black Radiance contour palette, but it wasn't giving contour or bronzer for the chocolate ladies, y'all. And so I went in with a really dark bronzer. It was a creamy liquid bronzer. I went in with that for this contour. Also, Juvia's palettes, they have Juvia's Place, they have some good bronzer palettes for darker skins as well. I'm going to purchase one and I'm going to show y'all. But yeah, and putting the setting powder in, I've been learning new stuff with that too. I can't wait to show y'all. And I couldn't like leave her fanning her eyes out, because that's what all my clients do, fanning eyes with the eyebrows. With the eyelashes. Eyelashes are like one of the hardest parts for clients. People cry, tear up, everything. But I purchased a fan for my future clients, y'all. So hopefully that works. But yeah, this is me. I'm just really dusting off the setting powder. And she just so dramatic, y'all. But this is what most people do. They really do like be trying to pick the glue out of their eyes the whole entire time. But the blush makes the look as well. I think for my darker ladies, sometimes for darker ladies, I use more of like a dark rosy, I don't really use red for my lighter ladies, and like my complexion a little bit lighter than her. I kind of use like a orangey red, but I typically like to use like a dark purple or like a purplish type of red, like a rosy purple, maybe that's what it is, I don't know, but it's more of a pink side for blush. But I used the orange red for her blush too, and it still ended up being cute or whatever like that. I still liked it. Now, of course, you gotta go in with that highlighter. I love highlighter. This is really my favorite part. One night I forgot to put highlighter on, and I realized like you can't do that. Like, it messed up the whole look. I kept looking like something is missing, but I was rushing and forgot to put the highlighter on, ladies. So highlighter really does justice. Even though I like to lightly put it on there, I don't like to put it on there like too like bronzy looking, but still highlighter does justice, y'all. I And then I also like to go back in after I finish everything. Go back in with that concealer and make sure those spots just look as bright as you want them to look. They still weren't as bright as I wanted to look now that I'm looking back on it, because I've really been studying my different makeup techniques, but they were bright enough. It still gave like a natural, really natural, pretty look. My favorite lip combo is, the brown lip liner, and I do like to go in with the nude. So you have to really make sure that you outline the lips as good as possible though when you are outlining the lips, because it just makes for a better look when the lips are outlined perfectly. And if one thing my sister gonna do is she gonna gossip. She just be just talking and talking and talking. Look at her, she just so messy, y'all. Like, I know she was saying something crazy. I don't even remember what she was saying exactly, but I know it was something crazy. So I went back in with this really, really, really light concealer to go on top of what the little pinkish nude that I put on her lips, because it wasn't giving enough pop for me. So I really like concealer. I've learned nude concealer, it helps with the lips as well. It's not just for the face, y'all. Going back to my favorite makeup tip of all time is to use what you get. Everything for lips ain't for lips. Everything for eyes, not just for the eyes. Like, come on. I use my favorite blush is from a freaking eyeshadow palette. No, like, people even use eyeshadow for your lips. Like, just make use of what you got. You don't have to go exactly by the book, because who created the book anyway? Like, no, do what you want to do, y'all. And so I do like to blend it out and make sure it's like an ombre look, because it gives it more natural. Instead of making like a harsh line around the lips, you want it to look kind of ombre. Look at her, she looks so pretty, y'all. Like, so cute. So I'm going back in with the setting spray, because I am done setting the face, and I'm going to pack that setting spray into her face really well. And I did not notice that little white thing on her face, y'all, but anyway, I set that in really good. This is the finished look.